of documents that are being analyzed in QDMiner. QDMiner is a manual coding tool where you will have documents. You could import PDF file, Word files, text file, HTML file, and typically you could manually code them. And you could also use a lot of search tool to code that quickly. If I won't do any demo on QDMiner. We did one a few months ago. We will do other ones also if you are interested in a quantitative tool. But I just want to stress one thing is that we do have implemented many ways to import documents, and I will show you a few ways. Well, first I could import documents, like I've said. We could also import image if you want to code image. But what is important is that if you have a data file, for example, either an Excel spreadsheet, a comma separated value, tab separated value, or Microsoft Access, you could import them directly. But we will also import SPSS and Stata. If you collect data in those and have some text fields that you want to analyze, we could import those. We import also from 5 survey platforms: SurveyMonkey, Qualtrics, Survey Gizmo, Voxco, QuestionPro. And if your survey platform is not there, quite often you could either export to Excel, but also you could export also maybe to SSS, which is a common standard XML standard for survey. Social media, we have tools to extract information from Twitter, Facebook, and RSS feeds. In this case, it's quite special because it's not only a way to collect information from those, but it's also a way to monitor data from those. So the software, you will have a software running in the background as a service, and it will actually check every hour or every day or every 5 days for new tweets about a specific issue or new feeds from RSS feeds or Facebook posts. Okay, we could import also from qualitative software. We also had recently the ability to import from EndNote, Mendeley, and Zotero. So people who are analyzing scientific literature and they have a large amount of either abstracts or full text journals, they could import those and then do some analysis pretty quickly with WordStat. If you have another platform, typically you could export that to RIS files. Again, XML standard, but this time for survey. We can also import from email. Okay, from either Outlook, Hotmail, Gmail, or Mbox. Outlook, it could be either the online or your Outlook software. It could be useful if you have, for example, questions from customers and you store them in separate folders. You could actually import those folders and then analyze those easily. If you also have some, personally, I do have some Google Scholar Alert where I collect information and I receive emails from Google about new publication on specific area, and if I want to analyze those, it's easy to do. And if you don't have if the software or the database is not there, you could still use FNO-DBC connection to import from those. I'm stressing that because WordStat does not have any importation features because it used the importation features of QDMiner, SimStat, or Stata to do that. So, and the same is true for all the variable transformation and case transformation, filtering, etc. You could do a lot of those, and you could happen cases, delayed cases. All of those are done in the main program that is calling WordStat. Now, I will jump to WordStat, and rather than analyzing speeches like I have here, I will instead take something, a data set. Let me just check how much I have here. Let me just remove a few things. Okay. So I will analyze 32,000 comments about hotels. I like this example first because it's a public one. We did collect data from Expedia. Sorry, I take some sips of a thing because I have a throat irritation. So sorry. Okay, so if I like this example because it has quite a lot of comments, but also we have some variables we could relate the text with to. So for example, we have the hotel name. We have about, I think, 10 or 12 hotels. We have a rating scale that go from very unsatisfied to very satisfied. We also have a date, and we also have a few other variables here. But I will actually try to show you how WordStat can help you analyze the text and relate the text to those variables. So I will select from QD Manner, and the dialog is quite similar in Stata actually, where you select the text field you want to analyze, and you select whether you want to relate that to any variable. So I will use those first three, and that's a basic way to call WordStat. QD Manner allows you also to look at specific tags that you made, but in SimStat or Stata, you will be analyzing the full document. Okay. Now let's run WordStat, and WordStat actually supports 3 different approaches for text, and I will try to show you at least in greater length the first 2 approach, and maybe spend less time on the last approach. So the first approach is exploratory text mining. The idea is to extract information as quickly as possible with at least as effort as possible, and get some good ideas of what the text is about. And as you will see, if it's a kind of inductive approach where you actually don't looking for something specific, instead you are simply asking the software to show you what's in there. So I call that an inductive approach, and you could actually do a lot. So typically, what I do is I tend to remove function words that have quite often high frequency but low meaning. Otherwise, if I was doing a word analysis on that, which is the most basic analysis WordStat can do, if it will give you words like and, of, the, to, etc., which are not necessarily interesting for everybody. For some linguists, they will like that, but other people, they wanted to look at what people are talking about. So let's do a simple word frequency. And I will go there, and I will ask for not 5,000, but let's focus on only 300, but we also wanted to see numeric character. I won't spend too much time on those options. What I want you to get is a general overview. We could later look at some of those options. So I will select words, 300 words, based on a kind of frequency. It's a frequency that takes into account number of cases also. So it finds the 300 most frequent words. So I could ask for 500, 1,000. Typically, even with 300, I could probably cover 75% of all the words in my text corpus because of the way words are distributed in a corpus. Usually, there's high frequency words, and there's a lot of words used only once or twice. So I could ignore those words, and I could get a lot of information from that. I will do that here with 300. We may later do that on a larger amount of text. But typically, WordStat will go through your documents. It went through those, and let me just resize that because I wanted to see this toolbar, which is hidden by my Windows bar. So it went through those 22,000 cases in about 7 seconds. Typically, 1 million words will take 3 or 4 seconds to analyze. Of course, depending on your computer, but on today's computer, this is typically the kind of speed you will get. So typically, if it finds some words, and I could go there and create some frequency of those words and create some word clouds if I want. So that's the kind of visualization that can be done easily on words, but it's not necessarily the most interesting way. One features of those graphics, and one of those is that you could actually retrieve text from those. If I want to have something about food, I could actually ask the software bring me those examples that talks about food. I'll be back on this feature later because that's a crucial feature that you will find almost everywhere in WordStat. So extracting words is not necessarily meaningful. Something a little bit more meaningful would be to extract phrases, and the software will allow you to find phrases. And let's do that. I will go to my 32,000 comments, extract phrases, and first one that show up is front desk, Las Vegas, resort fee, great location, room was clean, place to stay, smoking room, etc. And this is already something that is a little bit more meaningful, and it gives me more detail, more useful information about what the text is about. So I can see that there are things about positive comments about hotels, resort fee. Typically, that's not something that we want to pay, and so probably people were complaining about that. But let's focus now on something else. Typically, what I could do also is ask for overlaps, and overlaps will show me some phrases that are actually longer phrases that will be also more specific. So, okay, pay a resort fee on top is probably on top of that. Here I have a limit of 5 words. Now, so it's a great way to get some information, but sequence of words is one way to find useful information. But something that I would consider more useful is what we call a topic modeling. Topic modeling can take several forms. Typically, what we do is that we start to analyze not words in isolation, but we try to look at words that connect to each other. So we do analyze co-occurrence of words. And so typically, the way we work is that we look at all those words. Here I will focus on the 300 words, and I will see how often they co-occur together. In this case, well, I could look for words that appear in the same paragraph. And in this case, I would use sentence. I tend to use sentence when I'm analyzing either short comments or open-ended responses, simply because typically people will put many ideas in a single paragraph, while if you are analyzing documents, typically if it will be one document, one paragraph, one idea, and they may change paragraph when they want to change the focus of their talk. So we will use a sentence. And typically what the software will do is that it will compute a co-occurrence. So here it will go through all my cases again, collect information about co-occurrence, and come up with a frequency, co-occurrence frequency. So, for example, access and amazing occur 4 times together in the same sentence. Okay, so typically we don't use that. We normalize that because there are some words that are more frequent, and we normalize that into a matrix. We have a choice of metrics, but what is important is that what it allows us to do is that it allows us to actually cluster words. And by clustering words, it will bring phrases like the front desk that we saw that was quite that was appearing quite often, the resort fee, Las Vegas, coffee maker, friendly staff, etc. Friendly and helpful staff. So it brings you some phrases, but as you move it further, it will tend to create topics. Okay. So here, for example, okay, obviously the person waited, and if I click on that, actually you will see that now I have some graphics that are shown here. I did reduce my screen resolution so we don't see all the labels. Let me reduce that. So now we see all the labels. Let me make some adjustments here. I will do it this way. Yeah, no, this way. Okay, so that's the satisfaction score from very unsatisfied to very satisfied. So we know that the fact that they waited is usually associated with dissatisfaction. When you have those topics, and if I look at some of those, you will see that it actually show me, okay, door, pool area was closed. Here there seems to be noise associated either with construction or the proximity of a club, probably, or because the wall were quite quite thin, probably. So all of those seems to be related together, and again, I can see that it is associated with dissatisfaction. So you could identify topic quite easily this way. But one thing also that is important is that you could, if you want to validate and figure out how those items are connected, you could actually right-click and ask for a keyword retrieval that will bring you cases that contain those. So here we have for retrieval of many cases, and we could see what it means when people use those words. And here it did retrieve single phrases that contain all of those words. Okay, then you could go down and find from which hotel it come from, whether they were satisfied or not, and when the comment was made. Okay, so here I did a comment about that, but if I see, for example, here that it is associated with some hotels more than other, for example, the quad result seems to have some problems, I could click on this bar and also do a keyword retrieval and retrieve comments about that. Okay, so here it will only bring me comments about the quad results. Okay, I have a toolbar here that allows me to attach tags, but those are QD tags. So if you are running it from Stata or from SimStat, those tags would not be useful for you. Now, there's also a kind of network graph, and I will go there. The network graph is a way to look at the connection between items. So you could see how items are related, and there's a few ways to display those. You could display those in a circular fashion. You could use multidimensional scaling, or you could use a force-based graph that will try to show you in a appealing way the connection between items, and I can explore that. And I can, for example, noises. I could actually have the software to show me. I could have two levels of noise so that it will show me also items that are associated with noise directly or indirectly, probably loud air conditioning if I continue, and had two levels there. If it will also have me words associated with air there. Now, one feature that I like is being able to explore for a single word and try to see what people say about that. For example, if I say bathroom, what people say when they talk about bathroom, those are the words that are associated with bathroom. What if I compare that to say, let's take the room itself? I could actually add that and compare how they talk about the bathroom versus the room and which word they use, which is specific. So if I was monitoring comments about specific products or specific companies, I could actually have one company and see which words people use when they talk about a company or a product, and see which word they use when they talk about the other product. And again, I can click on a word, for example, nice or comfortable and bathroom. Seems to be strange. Let's look at all the comments about those. So I actually, that's not what I did. I did something else. Sorry. If I did replace it, I should have done this. Let me add bathroom. Okay. Comfortable and bathroom. Yeah. So I should do a retrieval and retrieve comments about this. So all of those are items that are where both comfortable and bathroom are together. So the idea of going back to the text is crucial. So what I've shown you in terms of exploring topics, I could also display those using a kind of multidimensional scaling. But when there's too much items, it's not necessarily as useful as other one. I have a 2D, and I could also create a 3D multidimensional scaling. But honestly, that's not the best visual display when you want to explore a large amount of item. Clustering is one way to do this, but there's a better way to extract topics automatically, and the extraction is done by topic modeling. And topic modeling is a technique that will go through all the comments, and it will try to find topics that automatically, but contrary to the clustering, it could actually put one word in two different clusters. For example, room, if you talk about king size room, king size may be associated with room, and non-smoking room. Room could also be associated with non-smoking. So here we see that room is there. Actually, I don't know whether room is there also. It's not, but words could occur in more than one item. But room is there. For example, there's a fridge in a room, coffee maker, fridge. So they talk about items here. So this is a very quick topic extraction tool. Much better, I would say, does a much better job as clustering, because a word could be that is associated with two topics could be associated with those two topics, which is not the case for clustering, but also because it will select the words. It won't show you all the words. It will select the most useful words. Okay, and you could clean that up. You could remove some of those words. You could actually also merge some of those clusters or remove some of those clusters because you think it's not necessarily relevant. Like this one, I don't think it is an interesting topic, so I can say let's delete this factor. Okay, so again, here the same thing. I can go back to the text. And all of this is a very quick way to explore things. I will show you a final way to explore things before moving to another approach of text. I can actually, simply by doing a word frequency, I could start to see how words are associated. Let me remove those numbers. I don't believe they bring a lot of information. If it will allow me to get more words. Okay, so I will do a crosstab, and from here, if I want, I could do, on this case, I could go do a chi-square. That will tell me where are the main difference in the connection between words and hotels, and I can actually sort that on those. So construction associated with some hotels, and Luxor is not really meaningful, but construction, for example, I could actually select and I could actually plot it. So I can see, and let me do this, that the quad result is the hotel that has more, or like that. The quad result is the hotel where there's a lot of construction issue, and again, I can right-click on that, but let's right-click on that, and I will get the construction for the flamingo, okay? Okay, so that's a quick way, but I could also do a correspondence analysis, and if I do a correspondence analysis, what I will see, actually here I see some artifacts, because I have some hotel's name, the Imperial, the Luxor, or some things that are specific to some hotels that will necessarily be associated with those hotels. So Luxor is close to Luxor also. But correspondence analysis is also a very quick way to extract information from text. Let's do it now, not on hotel, but on ratings. Okay? If in case of ratings, chi-square may not be appropriate, but I could do, say, a person R or spin and row. Again, sort that and see the words that are associated with negative ratings and words associated with positive ratings. But if I do a correspondence analysis, you will see that it will put very quickly the words that are associated with I-score, so satisfied clients, and words associated with low scores. If I wanted to see, for example, rude, I could actually plot that and see how it is associated with satisfaction score. And again, I can click and see how come they were satisfied when they say when they use the word rude. So I could actually go there and search for those comments. I could do that also in 3D, which will allow me, not here, sorry. Let me take a. Okay, so again, I could explore with words. A fine way also to explore is to do the same thing, but do this instead on phrases, and I could do that. I could extract phrases, and then run an analysis that will take, say, 100 phrases. and it will plot it again with correspondence analysis. Sorry, really sorry about that. I catch a cold during my holiday break. So so here we have again some connection between hotels and and a the phrases that were extracted, and quite very quickly I could actually find some topic. Convention center, probably associated with LV Club and Casino. And for the Luxor, they mentioned wireless internet. Again, I could right-click and try to see what they say about the Luxor and Wi-Fi. Okay, so this is purely exploratory, and we have clients who are analyzing their customer feedback, for example, and one of our clients, a major airline company, they are analyzing millions of comments, and they are doing topic modeling and those kind of correspondence analysis, and that's all they do. But topic modeling, you have to accept the fact that it is a inductive approach, so it won't allow you to search for something specific. Also, it is a quick and dirty way to measure reference to topic. Sometimes it provides a good approximation, but other time, if you want to be more precise, you need to take another approach. And this is where WordStat dictionary approach will be useful, is that you could actually build a dictionary that will allow you to measure topics. And let me find, I think I do have another one that I will find quickly. Okay. Okay, I have it here. Okay, so this is a very quick and dirty dictionary that I created to measure reference to hotels. So for example, broken, making any reference to that something is broken. You see that there are some misspellings here. Clean, I could put some words there. Dirty, I could also put some words there, including phrases with negation. And if I apply that, and let me just remove that for now, it will actually quantify those categories. So you could build categories, or a kind of dictionary with categories with words, phrases, word patterns, because as you may have seen, sometimes you could use wildcards. So you could build a dictionary that will allow you to measure more accurately some of those topics. And dictionaries could be used for many purposes. And so you could try to measure what people are talking about. You could also measure how they talk about those. So sentiment analysis, one way to do that is with a dictionary, but you could also look at like here at some topic. Okay, to build a dictionary, it's a time-consuming task, so it takes time to build a dictionary. But the main benefit of building dictionaries is that once you build a dictionary, you could reuse it on another data set. So if you are doing some data collection, ongoing data collection, for example, if you receive comments every week or every day, if you could actually develop a dictionary on, say, the last 5 months, and then reapply it for future months. Also, same thing, people who are doing tracking survey, they may do a survey every month or every year. They may develop a dictionary for a few years and then reapply it when they received new comments from a new survey, the same survey with the same question. They could basically reapply the dictionary and get results pretty quickly. We have some survey companies who have been doing surveys of actually, if it's a human resource company that I know, they have been using WordStat since 1999, and they have developed dictionaries that allow them to go in a company, administer to all employees questionnaires, and when they get the comments, they could analyze thousands of comments in just a few seconds. Okay, so the idea is to classify things, and WordStat will help you in many ways to build that, because it does take time. For example, typically what we suggest is that you do start by doing the clustering. Either the clustering or the topic modeling. They could be saved as dictionary, but you could simply use those to identify what are the topics that people are talking about and create a dictionary by itself. Then you could add words or phrases, and let's go back to the phrase extraction tool. So from the phrase extraction tool, what I can do is I can actually select a phrase either from here or from here and simply move it to the correct bin so that it will now be used to measure reference to those topics. And this is one of the challenge when you are analyzing text, is that there are many ways one could express a single idea, and you need to put those together, put synonyms together, but put idiom together that mean the same thing. So the phrase, from the phrase extraction, you could actually simply drag and drop items, but you could also ask the software to show you synonyms. For example, first, because here, if I apply my dictionary, if I have access to leftover words, I did remove the exclusion list. Let me put it back. What you will see is that I can actually ask the software to find me synonyms in my text. Okay, so then if I select a word, for example, let's select location, resize that, and I will have the software to find me synonyms of locations, actually related words. So if it identified some of those antonyms, okay, as well as words with the same start. If long, for example, I have antonyms here: longer, longest, long time, for example, which is misspelling. So by selecting those, for example, let me say food, for example. I will take food, and I will take orange, refreshments, sauce would be good, beverage, butter, cheese, chocolate, okay, coconut. So if I want to create a food category now, and let's take fish. I don't know whether that's a fish in a pond or fish in a plate. But food stuff here, what I can do is I can simply drop it. Let me move this back. Whoops. Let me select some of those. I'll do random selection, and I'll take that and I'll bring that into new categories, and let me do it again. Okay. Oh yeah, this was actually not selected. And I take that. Sorry. Ah, man. There. Okay, good. And it brings all the words, and you could type the category that you want. Okay, sorry for the things here. So now, so you could do that on this. You could also do that on categories. So if you take, for example, broken, the software will actually look for all the words you already are searching for, and it will search for synonyms that could be associated with any words that you have in your broken category. So here we have a lot of those. Okay, some of those are not relevant, but the idea is that at some point you had those you find those that are relevant, you add those to your broken categories, and at some point you won't get any good suggestion. It's because probably you went through all the relevant one. So the idea is, since okay, you do that, and now you could end up with a more comprehensive dictionary that will take into account all those items. Now I wanted to show you one last items when you build a dictionary, and actually we will do a seminar on how to build a dictionary. We will spend some time, give you some principles, and give you some insights about how WordStat works when it works with rules, word pattern, etc. But what I want to show you here is that I could also have the software, and this is a major challenge when you are dealing with with misspellings is that this WordStat, really sorry, will try to identify all the misspellings in your text corpus, but it will also try to match those to the words you're looking for. So here we have a dictionary, and in those categories we have some words that we're looking for. And the software will try to find the misspellings, show them to me, but it will present them to me in two lists. The first list will be words that the software was able to match with the words I'm looking for, and the other list will be all the other words that could not be matched to those words. So here, for example, horrible, okay, harassing, okay, inconvenience or inconvenient. So you could see all the misspellings that the software found, and if I go down, I'll find many ways of misspelling restaurants, okay? So a quick way to deal with that is to simply add them, and if I do that and I say categorize those, it will categorize those in the same category as food, okay? And I could go on like that and select those that are relevant. Actually, if it is quite good, usually the suggestion that we make are very good, so I typically simply select all and go and try to see whether there are some of those that I should put somewhere else. Okay, like towel, I'm not sure this is good, so I could remove those, and when it's okay, categorize, and it will be and it will create a dictionary that will be spelling resistant. The other strategy is to replace the text. The software could actually replace the text, but one thing that you have to remember is that the WordStat will actually remember the replacements you did, so the next time you will try to replace the same kind of, well, you will have the same misspelling in another data set, the software will ask you whether you want to apply that. And that's what it did when I click on the search button. It suggests to me those 5 replacements that I've done in another project. And if I if I click on that, it will redo those replacements. We have some people who have this way. They built dictionaries of several thousand replacements of common misspellings, and by doing that, they are cleaning their original data sets, and the replacements will be done in the text itself. Okay, but if you don't want to change the text itself, keep the misspellings. Another strategy is to simply add those misspellings to your dictionary. So, and of course, once you have done and apply your dictionary, you could do the same kind of analysis you did. You could do a crosstab and see how they are related to either the hotels or the ratings. And you could also do some co-occurrence where you will see how those topics seems to be associated together. Somehow noise and room temperature seems to be associated. Noise and construction, we understand that, but again, I could explore and has a software to find me those cases where both of those topics occur. Okay, broken elevator, okay, beautiful, and pool seems to be associated together. Cleanliness, rooms, room equipment, uncomfortable. Okay, so there are some of those topics, and here I have less items. I could do those. Let me do a 2D multi-dimensional scaling, and again, I could play with that, and I could actually create a display that I'll be able to use for presentation purpose. Okay, so the last approach, and I want just to mention it pretty quickly, is the document classification approach. And the document classification approach actually will allow you to try to predict some outcome based on the comments. And ratings would be a good one, for example, because if I have a large amount of comments that have been rated, but I want to apply this dictionary, or I want to guess a rating based on the comments for which I don't have any ratings, like, for example, a Twitter comments, I could actually build a classification model based on the rating, and using all those 32,000 comments I have, and then apply that to a data set for which I don't have any ratings, and it should bring me, allow me to predict with some accuracy that could go from 20% to 99%. It could allow me to classify automatically some items and come up with some outcome measure or rating measure. Okay, this is also another way to do sentiment. I could do that with a dictionary, but I could also do that with a classification model. Sometimes I try to combine both. Maybe we should one day do a webinar just on sentiment analysis, because I know it is very popular. I should show you some of the dictionary that we have that are available. The WordStat comes with several dictionaries. One of them is a sentiment dictionary. We don't suggest to use it as is. You need to customize it to your specific domain. So its purpose is to offer a starting point for doing sentiment analysis in a specific area, but you need to customize it. But one specific features of WordStat is that WordStat won't look at negative words and positive. It will consider them, but it won't look at them specifically to measure sentiment. So we have some negative words here. We have some positive words here, thousands of them. Okay. But actually, the software will not look at those words directly. If it will look at those words in relationship with the negations, because not satisfied, if the word satisfied is there, you should not look at the word satisfied itself. Phrases is useful, but usually the negations are not necessarily immediately before. So it could be not satisfied, not at all satisfied, not very satisfied, etc. So you need to somehow relax the condition. So what we did is that we create rules. So for example, for something that is not good, we actually have the ability to create some rules, like any positive words. So the number signs here is actually indicates that it's we are making reference to a category, not a word. So it's any positive words after a negation within the same sentence. And I could say 3 or 4 are typically good examples. Good rule. Real bad. I try to look for words that occur close to a negation, a negative words, not after a negation. If I say not bad, it's not necessarily negative. Okay. Same thing for positive. Okay. Not bad or real good would be good without a negation before. Okay. So by doing that, I can create quite precise dictionary. Just to finish on one thing, because I know that that we have done quite a lot. Let me go back to my hotel dictionary. Okay. Hotel is here. Okay, I will apply it. And one crucial feature in any text analysis features that either allow you to do topic modeling, exploratory text mining, or use a dictionary approach to develop categorization model is that you need to be able to validate your dictionary. Here I have, for example, a reference to buffet. Okay, and I have some words there, and I have probably several words there, and I have to make sure that I'm actually measuring reference to buffet or food or something else. So what is important? Let me take food. It's a more general one. What I can do is I could do a keyword in context, and the keyword in context will allow me to validate my dictionary and will allow me to increase the precision of my dictionary using some rules that I will explain for next seminar. So for example, buffet food is okay, but I can actually try to look at some of those, and I typically tend to sort that on keyword and before or keyword and after in order to identify the context and allow me to see how words are being used, because sometimes I can actually find some of those items that are not relevant. Okay, food for thought, for example. Okay, if a lot of people were using this expression, I would see it here, and I would be able to select it here, food for thought, and categorize it somewhere else, or tell WordStat not to include food for thought in my food category. Okay, so this is finished for now. It's a very quick overview with some hiccups with either my throat or my mouse. So So I hope you got a good understanding. Now we will go to a question section. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Norma. If you have any questions, please use the chat feature at the right of your screen to ask your questions, and then we will relay them to everybody, and Norma will answer them. The first question, Norma, is how can I be more specific in the information I'm looking for? You know, for example, if I'm looking for in hotels for bill or billing, but I don't want to get Bill Clinton or Bill of Rights or some other type of bill.
Okay. Yeah, that would take me quite some time to analyze it, to actually show it to you. But I will try to give you a quick overview. The next webinar on dictionary construction would be great. Typically, for example, I'm pretty sure that the word bill is used quite a lot. So let's look for that, and I will use for bill. Okay. So typically, I have a dictionary that have the word bill. And what I could do is sort on keywords and after, and this will allow me to group together those that are relevant or not. So, for example, I'm pretty sure that I should find one pretty soon because the Bill's Gambling is an hotel. Okay, and it did catch that as a phrase. So typically what I could do is I go there, I tell the software, I could simply add that to the exclusion list, or simply tell the software to categorize it differently. And let's create a hotel name category. And what it will do now, the next time I will reapply the dictionary, you will see that the frequency of the word bill will go down because now WordStat will give precedence to phrases over words and longer phrases over shorter phrases. So by doing that, since the longer the phrase, the more specific it is, and phrases are more specific than words, WordStat will always give precedence to the most specific information, and it will also give more precedence to words rather than word patterns. So if I have bill with a wildcards, but I have something like a billiard or billion somewhere, the software will give precedence to billion and will never catch bill. And if a word is part of a phrase, words in this phrase won't be catch. If I wanted to go further, if I find that a word actually gives me too many false positives, typically what I tend to do is I remove the words from the dictionary, but I'm trying to find instead phrases that are true positive, like pay my bill or bill, like we can see here, for example, we saw some of those bill, let's go down, bill charge or bill receipt, for example, which is good. Most of them are good anyway, but if it was not good, I could actually select the phrases that give me true positive. And there are some rules as to where is the criteria you should use to keep a word or maybe try to clean it up. Okay, so we'll see that in the next webinar.
Okay, another question. How can I want to upload or replace a current dictionary with my dictionary. How do I upload my dictionary?
Okay. Typically, dictionaries are built in WordStat. If you have that, say for example, in a Word document, there's no way to import it directly, but I will show you that if I want to add a word, okay, let me create a new dictionary. Okay, I will create new. I don't want to keep that. I will say test. I probably have one. I will override that. I could keep those words, but I will start with a fresh one, so I will click no. And when I add words, I could create a new category. Let's say, satisfied. And now I could go in my Word document and simply paste the words there. Typically, I should have one word per line. If I do that from an Excel spreadsheet, words in several lines, and you could paste it there, and it will actually you will be able to add all of those at once by clicking Add. But you will have to do that one category at a time. The other approach is to use the import function, but the import function requires a specific file format. If it will import an Excel or a tab delimited file that has a specific format where the first column will be the category, the second column will be the words, but you could also have several levels, main categories, subcategories, sub-subcategories, then the words in the fourth column. So the software will allow you to select where are the categories and where are the words, and you could import from that. So Excel would be a good format if you wanted to create your own dictionary in a specific file. Use Excel and use a format that we recommend, and you will be able to import it easily.
Okay, this question might be actually a topic for an entire webinar, but maybe we can touch on some of the aspects. What's the best way to learn more about topic modeling, and how to pick, for example, how to pick the number of topics, set parameters, evaluate topics for usefulness, etc.?
Okay, it is an interesting question, and it is still an unsettled question. First, there's a lot of articles on topic modeling. There's a scientific literature on that, and if it has been, there has been a resurgence of research on topic modelings maybe since the last 5 or 10 years. So that's a way to do that. As for the way to extract topics, here. It's a tough question because there's no single response. For example, we did one example where we did analyze 5,000 abstracts from a conference over 10 years. And if we wanted to identify the broad themes, the tracks, the main tracks, we could simply select maybe 20 topics, and the software will typically give us pretty general topics. But if we wanted to look more at mini tracks or specific research area, very more specific, we could ask instead 200 topics, and we would get information we want. The thing also is that when you do topic modeling, you should not take low frequency words, so you should make sure that you have a frequency high enough so that you won't get some random patterns, things that will introduce some noise in your topic. As for how good they are, it's pretty tricky. Well, typically here I have a loading of 0.02, and I don't like that kind of, because it's too low. Typically, I would say minimum 2, maybe 0.2 or 0.3 will bring you less words, but it will actually the words that it will bring will be much more specific. Okay, so and the question of evaluation, it's still a non-settled issue. We are currently doing research ourselves on whether there could be some metrics that could be associated with human ratings of topics that are extracted. There has been some proposal in the scientific literature, and honestly, we found that many of them don't actually work and do not predict how good someone will evaluate the congruence of the topic. So if it's an unsettled issue, we are still doing our own research. We hope to have something maybe to present soon. But for the topic, typically what you do is that you ask for a number of topics. If you think that the topics are too general, you could increase the number of topics. If they are too specific, then you could maybe reduce those. And just like clustering, if you look at the ones that will give you the information, an interesting information, and if the information is not good enough, maybe you could increase the number of clusters or decrease it.
Okay, thank you. This will be our last question. We're sort of coming up to time now. But so how can you quickly see all the documents/cases that do not fall in any of your defined categories? This would be extremely helpful in tuning and improving the user's categories.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because if it's easy, the software will give you a lot of tools to actually show you, help you find the false negative, sorry, the false positive, like the keyword in context. But finding the false negative is something that is more difficult. And even if the software will show you synonyms, related words, misspellings, which will reduce the number of false negative, you still have to find those. So here I will apply that. So I will apply this dictionary, and there's a feature that allows you to search specific items that have not been touched by your dictionary. So here we will apply the dictionary, and I can go to the keyword retrieval here, and I could have the software, okay, to bring all paragraphs that contain no keywords. And by doing that, and typically I tend to put the word count here, and you will see why later. And let me remove this condition. So here, if it will go to all my documents, my 32,000 comments, it will apply the dictionary, and it will then bring me all the paragraphs that have not been covered by my dictionary. So if I'm missing something, there's a likelihood that those paragraphs will contain relevant information. And here again, that's a pretty basic dictionary that we did pretty quickly. So we know that the coverage is not good. So we should get quite a lot of items. I already have, as you see here, about 4,500 items, probably 5,000. Okay, and now we have all those phrases. None of them contain words that are matched with my dictionary. I already see that mini fridge is one, and I could say that and add that to add to my calculation dictionary, and it will put mini fridge, and I can put that into, well, pretty quickly. Let's put that into food, okay? But the thing is that short phrases are not necessarily those that contain a lot of information. So if you sort on the word count, you will get the longer phrases. And the longer the phrases, the more likely if it contains information that you missed. Okay, again, here we have a lot of phrases. Our dictionary is quite small, so I could look at that and try to see whether there are something that I should have put in my dictionary, select it from here, had that. And okay, and here I did that almost randomly, but if I find something relevant, I could categorize it in a proper way in my dictionary. So you could do that for quite a lot of those big items, then reapply the search, and it will bring you, because it will match those that you didn't look for. So you do that, you reduce, you increase the coverage of your dictionary, you reduce the number of paragraphs that are not covered, then you could match and go back to the sentence, because if you end up with only, say, 10 paragraphs that have not been categorized, or a very short paragraph, you may decide, let's go now to the sentence level, and let's try to see what we're missing. So that's one way to analyze and get information from all items that have not been covered by my dictionary.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Normand. Our time is up. Thanks, everybody, for attending the webinar. Our next webinar will be February the 14th. At the same time, we'll be posting it on social media and on the website, and we're going to cover how to build a dictionary in WordStat, excuse me. And we intend to have webinars at least once a month for over the year. And if you have any suggestions of topics that you would like us to cover, things that you would like us to see, please send us an email through the contact us link on our website. And as I said before, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and we'll announce the dates and times of future events. The next one, as I said, will be February the 14th. So finally, we will be sending everybody who attended today, and the actually people who registered, will be sending you a recorded version of this webinar, and we'll also be hosting it on our website. So if there's something that you missed, you can go back and review it. Finally, we'll try to follow up with you as best we can on some of the questions that we didn't get to answer on the webinar. And look forward to seeing you the next time. So thank you very much. Take care and have a good day.